Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com with an unboxing plus on-feet video of the brand new Adidas SpringBlade runners. So as you can see, it comes in your standard black and white Adidas box. Give you a quick look at the label here. Obviously it's called the SpringBlade. The pair I have here is a size 9.5 US. The official colorway is infrared, metallic, silver, and black. And when the shoe goes for sale on August 1st, it will retail for $180 US. Just wanted to say a quick thank you to Adidas for sending these out early to me to show you guys and possibly even do a little bit of a review on. I'm definitely very curious to see how these are going to perform, especially with all the tech and innovation that really has gone into this design. It's unlike anything else we've ever seen before, which is one, why it looks so spacey, and two, why I think a lot of people are excited about it. Now, do I think this is going to be the next kind of revolution in running shoes? Probably not. It's probably something that most people are going to buy for casual wear, not necessarily for performance, but I'm still very curious to see how they're going to perform. I know a lot of people view this type of stuff as very gimmicky, but there has to have been a lot of kind of research and development that went into producing the SpringBlade technology featured on this particular shoe, and I think you have to give Adidas some credit for producing something that really nobody has ever seen before, which is why there has been so much kind of buzz around the SpringBlade shoe that we'll be releasing very, very shortly. Now, as far as the shoe itself goes, I just want to talk about the side profile on this shoe because it just is really, really unique. And I know a lot of people who have never heard or seen the SpringBlade kind of before, when I wear this out the first time, a lot of people are going to be asking, what the heck are you wearing? So on the side profile here, you can see it has a very unique look with that SpringBlade sole. If I turn it a little bit, you can see it almost, to me, reminds me of like a centipede and its legs that are all kind of really close together. And you'll see that when I put them on, they actually move a lot more than you might expect. And overall, it just gives the shoe a very spacey look, if you will. It looks very, very futuristic, very, very modern, and I think it's going to throw a lot of people off once you start wearing these around in public. Definitely one of those shoes that's going to stand out for you, especially in this bright orange infrared colorway. And that's just one thing I wanted to mention as well. This is kind of the launch colorway that they've been showing the most images of, and for whatever reason online, they always appear to look red, but infrared is actually like a bright, bright orange. In person, there is no question that this is orange as opposed to red, so just keep that in mind if you are looking to order a pair in this particular colorway. They're bright orange as opposed to bright red. Now, we'll start off with the SpringBlade system itself just because it is so unique and it's probably the highlight of this particular shoe. The SpringBlade system is made up from a high-tech polymer material. As you guys can see, it's kind of like a clear plastic, and there's 16 blades in total, so you have separate blades on the lateral and medial sides of the shoe, with one solid blade at the heel and one solid blade at the toe. They are all completely separate. Obviously, in the forefoot area, they're kind of joined with this little extra piece of rubber, but they aren't actually joined the blades themselves, so just keep that in mind. And they're going to move freely, and they are fairly flexible. They move around a lot when you actually have them on feet, and there's like more weight on the shoe itself, which you'll see later in the on-feet portion of the video. But overall, it definitely feels very, very unique. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the feel just yet. Again, they're brand new. I kind of just slipped them on for a couple minutes just to see how they felt. But overall, it's definitely very, very unique and unlike anything else that I've ever put on my feet in terms of running shoes. So that's a good or bad thing depending on what you want to kind of say about it. As far as durability goes, I know a lot of people are going to be asking about how this actually is kind of resistant to weight and conditions and actual running. And what Adidas is claiming is that this is 7 times more resilient than your standard foam cushioned running shoe, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean exactly. I'm not sure if there's any kind of weight limit on this. And again, I'll talk about this later in the on-feet portion of the video. I'm about 180, 185 pounds, and they seem to move around quite a bit. So if you were 200, 250 pounds, I'm not sure if the SpringBlades or the blades themselves would move around too much. They don't feel like they're going to break. They feel very, very solid, and you have all of them working together. I don't feel like you're going to break any of the blades. It's a very kind of resilient plastic feeling material, and I'm sure Adidas put a lot of research and development and testing into this particular shoe that you should be good to go no matter how heavy you are. So just keep that in mind. If you were worried about these things breaking on you, I wouldn't worry too much, and if they do, Adidas always does have a warranty, so keep that in mind. So as far as the cushioning system itself goes, one thing that really surprised me about this particular system is that they really are reliant on the SpringBlades themselves to provide all of the cushioning. You can see there's kind of like a see-through heel counter here on the bottom, and when you actually pull out the insole, which I've already done on this shoe, there isn't actually anything there other than the cushioning that you're going to get from the insole itself. So you can see it's completely see-through. There's my finger on the inside. You can see right through the bottom of the shoe. There does appear to be a little bit of extra foam at the forefoot, as you guys can see, that little bit of orange underneath. But other than that, I was really surprised that there wasn't an extra layer of foam on the inside, other than the insole itself, which looks like this. Black insole with your Adi Power logo right there in orange, says explosive energy. And granted, it is a thicker insole. It's still not thick enough to where it's going to reduce the feel of the SpringBlades themselves. And the whole concept behind this particular cushioning system is a normal foam shoe is designed to cushion your impact and kind of spring back the energy up. So it's going down and then up. On this shoe, you can see that the blades themselves are kind of heavily tilted forward. They're at a really extreme angle. So instead, with the SpringBlade, instead of going up and down, it's designed to absorb the impact and then drive you forward, which is kind of a cool idea, and you can definitely see how it would work on this particular shoe. It's a very unique design, but at the same time, it's very easy to see how it would be effective, which is something that I think is very, very cool about the SpringBlade system. Now, as far as the upper itself goes, this is where you're seeing a lot less new from Adidas. It uses a Tech Fit upper. You can see the branding right there, which is exactly what we've seen on the recently released Energy Boost runner, as well as most running shoes that Adidas is putting out now. Tech Fit is basically a very kind of stretchy mesh material with these rubber and fused overlays to kind of support it in the areas that it needs the most support. So this front part of the shoe, as you can see, is very sock-like, very, very soft. It stretches and forms to your foot. You have some fuse going around the edges just to reinforce the shoe itself, keep your foot from sliding around too much. You do have your 3 Adidas stripes on either side that act as a support system. It's a little bit stiffer material, so when you do pull the laces tight, your midfoot will be secure on the inside of the shoe. You have a padded mesh tongue, as you can see there. Your SpringBlade system, or branding right there, and there's kind of like a floating plastic heel counter right here at the back. But overall, definitely a very, very cool shoe. You have a black heel liner there, and all the materials themselves, while they are all meshes and synthetics, they feel very, very high quality. So while the shoe is $180, it definitely kind of looks and feels like a $180 shoe, in my opinion, especially with all the unique tech innovation that you have in this particular SpringBlade system. So that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing portion of this video goes. And move on to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes look and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the SpringBlades on feet, and I'm sure the first thing you guys want to know is how do these things feel? And the answer to that question is I'm kind of indifferent about them at this point. Just from putting them on and walking around a little bit, they definitely feel like unique running shoes. They don't feel like your average pair of foam cushioned running shoes at all. And I really like the look of the SpringBlades. They feel a little bit higher off the ground than your average running shoe, and you definitely can tell there is quite a bit of movement and flexibility from this particular system, more so than I was actually expecting. Is there a springy feel about them? To a certain extent, yes, but it's tough to say until I've actually run in them, which I plan to do probably later this afternoon. Now, as far as the overall feel and fit of the shoe itself, it's very, very comfortable. It has that Tech Fit upper, so it's more secured here where the Adidas stripes are. It's a little bit stiffer material, and then this forefoot and toe box area is very, very soft and flexible with kind of like a stretchy, thin material. It's also going to be very breathable too, and definitely a really kind of performance-oriented upper on the shoe itself to go along with the SpringBlade system. Now, as far as sizing goes, I'm wearing my usual size 9.5 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. They definitely do run true to size, so if you're looking to order a pair for yourself, I would definitely recommend going for your regular size for the best possible fit. One thing to just quickly touch on the colorway itself, if you were thinking about getting a pair of SpringBlades and you didn't want anything too bright, I would stay away from the infrared colorway altogether. It is extremely bright, very, very bright orange, especially in well-lit areas. Hopefully it shows up as orange on camera, but like I said, everywhere else it seems to appear more of a red color as opposed to orange, but it definitely is bright orange. So that's pretty much it as far as what they look like on feet with a pair of shorts. And move on next to what they look like on feet with a pair of pants. The SpringBlades themselves definitely have a more performance-oriented design about them, and while I think it is a good-looking shoe, it's probably not something you're going to buy to wear every day with a pair of jeans, especially in the brighter colorways. To me, this is a shoe that you wear with sweatpants or some kind of athletic wear if you're going to be wearing them with pants. But with a pair of shorts, you can pretty much wear them with anything. They are a nice light summer shoe, very, very breathable, and overall very comfortable as well. So that's pretty much it as far as what they look like on feet. And I move on now to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Adidas SpringBlade. I have to say that I'm really impressed with Adidas for what they've achieved with the SpringBlade shoe. The technology is definitely something that we've never seen before, and I'm always a big fan of any company that is able to innovate in a market that is so saturated with new tech, and really come out with something that is completely different from anything else out there on the market. As far as what you should buy this shoe for, it's one thing if you like the shoe and just want to buy it for casual, like everyday wear. It's another thing to buy the shoe for performance reasons. Again, as a performance shoe, it's not really proven at this point, and I don't want to say anything good or bad about it until I've actually kind of ran in the shoes and stuff like that. So for the meantime, if you like the way it looks, then definitely pick up a pair. They feel really good on your feet, I can tell you that much. And when I do run in them, I definitely will give you guys my opinions in some way or another, whether it be in video form or in written form. I'll definitely give you guys a heads up on how these shoes actually do perform. Now, if you guys do want to see some high quality images of this shoe, just to get a better idea as to how it actually does look in person, be sure to check out the review page on my website, linked down below in the description. And when Buy It Now links do become available on August 1st, I'll have those on the review page as well. In the meantime, guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the SpringBlade shoe. Do you love it? Do you hate it? If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. All of my social media links can be found down below in the description. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.